Yeah, thank you very much, Laska Hirlik, for letting me in on this, because I think it's a very important question. And I think the question that's been raised in Mayo in particular is, we see lots of delays in projects that were promised, and that is particularly over schools and over hospitals. So we have the likes of David College, of Ballinrobe School, and I hope there'll be an announcement there soon, but Educate Together in Castlebar and Holy Trinity in Westport. And what's happening is they have to refuse kids places within schools. Now, we've had an increase in population in these areas, and we just don't have the capacity there. So it's really been restrained in terms of educational opportunity and all that. So I suppose I would like your assurance that projects aren't being delayed because of inflation, and that hospitals like Mayo University Hospital, Belmullet Hospital and Ballina isn't being delayed there either, so that from your department it's getting a run through on it. And obviously roads like the R312 road as well in Mayo. I know there's a lot there, but people were under the impression that these projects were going to be delivered, and now it appears that they're delayed.
Thanks, Deputy. So there can be a number of factors behind the delay of a project, and I've highlighted in my experience what are the two key ones there to Deputy Durkin. Just to make the very general observation that there is always a demand for more projects to go ahead than at times the funding is available for. Every government minister wants to be in a position to spend more, to allow many projects that they and communities want to see happen go ahead. But even with the huge increases in capital expenditure that we have and that we have planned, there will always still be more and more projects for which there is a good case for them to go ahead, and there is at times the money available for them. And I'm just making a general observation because I'd have to be honest to the House in acknowledging that that's a key issue that ministers continue to raise with me, and that is why what I've tried to do is year by year by year increase capital expenditure so we're able to get more done. But the two issues that I've referred to Deputy Durkin on, Cathaoirleach, in relation to tendering and the impact of inflation, continue to be challenges, but I hope at least the latter will be alleviated by the allocation of the further £2.25 billion for this year and the 2 years to come.
Cash Dr. Sani, agus Rose Conway-Walsh.
Thanks for the answer to that question. Well, I think it's very important that projects that are promised and announced are delivered, because there's an expectation there. Minister, could you provide detail on the non-core spending allocation of approximately 4.5 billion for each year from 25 to 27 outlined in the Stability Programme update, and could you make particular reference to the use of the Contingency Reserve?
Thank you very, very much, Deputy, for that important question. So in Budget 2024, a sum of €4.5 billion was allocated for non-core issues. These are costs that are driven by external developments or additional EU-funded projects that had to be reflected in our expenditure ceiling. The allocation covered pressures such as our humanitarian response to the arrivals fleeing war in Ukraine, legacy COVID issues, and matters in relation to, for example, the National Recovery and Resilience Plan. I've already explained some of the factors in relation to this to Deputy Nash, and I won't take up your time by repeating them again. In relation to the question that you put to me there, Deputy, regarding have we made a decision in relation to the departmental allocation of €4.5 billion, the answer to that question is that we haven't. And I don't believe we will make that decision until the estimates process. We may give some indication in relation to how we'll manage it in the summer economic statement, but no such decisions have been made regarding the allocation of that €4.5 billion for next year at this point in time.
Okay, thank you, Minister. I appreciate that. I suppose what I'm trying to get at is to get some greater detail on whether to confirm that the contingency reserve is now within core rather than non-core expenditure, and is the contingency reserve intended to be a long-term feature in our budgets?
So the Stability Programme update did not make reference to non-core expenditure. We have, in one recent Stability Programme update, we did make reference to non-core expenditure, and in another we didn't. And the government hasn't made a decision yet in relation to whether there will be a concept of non-core spending used in Budget 2025. I do want to acknowledge the benefits of non-core, which I emphasised earlier on, but also to say then that non-core expenditure did refer to issues that we genuinely believed to be temporary. And we do have to seriously consider whether some of the challenges that we are now confronting at the moment would genuinely be temporary. But I have not yet engaged with Cabinet on that, and myself and Minister McGrath have to work that out in relation to the number of years in which we've made provision for contingency reserve. We've done it for 25, 26 and 27. And certainly for 2025, as we move closer to the budget, we'll have to form a view as to whether it's adequate for next year. Where the figure came from is an expectation regarding how much was spent this year in relation to issues that we would now see as being non-core.
Yeah, okay. I look forward to the greater detail, I think, in the next statement, in the estimates, so that we can do further scrutiny then of where things are at and what the plans are for the future.
Thank you.